Yesterday, a bunch of Democrat Congress critters went to the Department of Education, and is that not it? Well, I think it's because you can't call them congressmen, right? And you can't call them congresswomen, and you can't call them Congress like them. So I don't know what their pronouns are. Let's just stick with Congress critters. Okay, so the Congress critters, they're Democrats. They go to the Department of Education. They demand a meeting with Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education, and they demand to talk about how they refuse to allow the Department of Education to be dismantled, and that they have grave concerns over the teachers union and the Oh, no, they never mentioned that out loud. What they mean is the children. The children, of course, they have concerns. And then after the meeting, they go downstairs. They had already invited the press. It's a big show. Here, take a look. They brought their own podium. They brought this whole thing, and they're going to do this show. You know they're serious because they brought one of their Congress critters who wears a spangly cowboy hat. They demand to be taken seriously. So they're going to do this whole dog and pony show for the media to talk about what just happened up in the meeting. What they didn't expect was that Linda McMahon, in true Andrew Breitbart / World Wrestling Entertainment fashion, decided to crash the press conference. While they were telling the media what happened in the meeting, Linda McMahon was standing like 8 feet away from them, watching the whole thing go down. So they couldn't lie. And then something happened. Something that those Democrats weren't expecting.
Along a corporate model without a plan and without an effort to really protect our students. So we want to be clear about that. I want to say one other thing, the mood in the room, it was very collegial. We are extraordinarily grateful to the secretary that she joined us. Thank you. She's here.
All right, so just I look at that. How great is that? Do you think if she weren't standing there, that Congress critter would have said, we were very grateful that the secretary had us. It was very cordial. Do you think she would have said that? I think not. We'll never know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it would have been a different tone at this little show for the media. But look at her standing there. Hey, just hanging out. But now this is where the fateful error happens, where this congresswoman made a big mistake. Watch.
Perhaps I should give her the podium. We're extraordinarily grateful that the secretary gave us the space to have these conversations. But with all due respect, madam, I think my biggest concern is that the states will not be able to protect the programs and services that you would like to devolve with them.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. And I just want to express my gratitude to all of these folks who came today so that we could have an open discussion about what I believe is one of the most important things that we can have a discussion on or action on in our country, and that is the education of our young people. As Representative Tanaka said as we were ending the meeting, which I thought was incredibly appropriate, and that is that this is not a partisan issue. This is about the children of America. And it's the next generation, the generation after that. And if we want to have our leaders, if we want to have that next group of engineers and doctors and lawyers and plumbers and electricians and HVAC operators, then we need to focus on how they can best have their education. And I believe, and I know the president does believe this as well, the best education is that is closest to the child, where teachers and parents, local superintendents, working together and local school boards to develop the curriculum for those students is the best way that it can happen. Funding from the United States government will continue through the programs that have already been established. And I will look forward to continuing to work with members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. And I welcome the fact that these folks came today and expressed their concerns and shared in an open collegial format their concerns and how we can lead now to work more together. That's the way it ought to operate. And I'm very happy to have had them here. So I'm
right. So that's amazing. So she seizes the microphone at the podium. She delivers her message on behalf of President Trump to the media. Look at the congresswoman next to her. It's like, this is not what we planned. This is not going the way we planned it to go. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it's exactly, it's funny. I remember when Trump won in 2016 And then, all the hand wringing from the establishment Republicans and the never Trumpers. It's like, what happens if the Republican Party takes a cue from Trump? And this is who other politicians, they like model their careers after Trump. What happens if we just become a party of little miniature Donald Trumps who are, tweeting mean things and who are abrasive and criticize the media? And it's like, great. This is what happened. Do you think this happens before Donald Trump is president of the United States? Do you think a cabinet secretary pulls off something like this? And she did it politely, collegially, respectfully, but effectively. And I do like, we'll let this Democrat have the last word because she comes back to the podium here, and it's so sad, actually.
I'm gonna let them answer the questions. I just wanted to come out and have.
While you're here, can you just answer the question? When are you going to shut down this building?
Well, we've had our discussions already, so thank you all very, very much for coming.
Thank you all.
As you see, she's not answering the question when she's going to shut down the Department of Education.
She doesn't know.
That's what they're stuck with. By the way, did you hear somebody watching saying, because she doesn't know? Well, of course we don't know. We're still playing. We can't shut down the Department of Education until there's legislation that codifies it into law. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead with but that's all they're stuck with. All they're stuck with. See, she won't tell you when she's going to shut down the Department of Education. Meanwhile, the American people are like, as long as they're going to do it, let's go. Okay. I can wait. We've waited 45 years and test scores are still bad. That's amazing. That's a beautiful moment. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, you heard me mention Andrew Breitbart as kind of an inspiration here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Anthony Weiner, real name, he's was a congressman in New York City, and he was a rising star. In fact, he even married Huma Abedin, who was the right-hand person of Hillary Clinton at the State Department. Bill Clinton officiated the wedding, which should tell you everything. Well, Anthony Weiner was caught sending indiscreet pictures of his Anthony to underage girls on the internet. And he denied it. I worked for Andrew Breitbart the night this story broke. I was part of rolling out the story, actually. This was in 2011, if I remember right. And yeah, there you go, June of 2011. It was over Memorial Day weekend. Anthony Weiner denied it. Anthony Weiner said Andrew Breitbart hacked into his Twitter account, which, by the way, is a federal offense. FBI investigation started. We were freaking out, right? We knew the story. We knew that we had the goods on him. But it wasn't until a week later when Anthony Weiner was caught, because there was another woman who came forward showing pictures that were obviously Anthony Weiner off of his social media account. And so Anthony Weiner called a press conference in New York. Andrew Breitbart happened to be in New York, and he decided to go to the press conference. He literally, we had a group text going, and he said, I'm going to go up the street to the Sheraton where the press conference is. And we were like, all right, but are you sure that's a good idea? And I kid you not, the last thing he texted us before he ran out of battery was, don't worry, I'll keep a low profile. There's Andrew Breitbart keeping a low profile. My man. Breitbart seizes stage before Weiner press event. He took the podium. All the people in the media recognized him in the room. They started asking him questions. They couldn't hear him. So somebody, a CBS reporter, said, hey, Andrew, why don't you just go up on the podium so we can hear you on the microphone? He goes, okay. And now across all the cable stations who had sort of a live shot waiting for Anthony Weiner to come out and confess what he had done, instead, they're all showing Andrew Breitbart vindicated, saying, I want an apology. And that's exactly what ended up happening with Linda McMahon here, because the Democrats, they wanted to do this big horse and pony show. They wanted to make her look bad. They wanted to do this whole press conference thing. And guess what the media ran with? Guess what they actually played, if they played anything at all? Guess what video went viral? Not these Democrats complaining about the Secretary of Education. No, what went viral was what the Secretary of Education said when she took the podium and delivered her message. It was brilliant. It was beautiful. It was us owning the media again, because the rules have changed. And it all started with that guy. He was my friend. He was my mentor. He died at the age of 43. I would have loved to know what he would think about everything that's happened since then. But the media landscape that we're in right now was created and formed by Andrew Breitbart. And I'm connecting the dots right back to Linda McMahon yesterday taking that podium, because it was Absolutely Breitbart. In fact, let's finish with Andrew Breitbart having the last word here.
That have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs? F- you. War.
6 years later, Donald Trump. 4 years later, Donald Trump became president of the United States. My, how things have changed. Thank God for Andrew Breitbart.